Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fortnite video. Strech ended up winning Fortnite DreamHack in NAE's region. Congratulations to him because it was well deserved after a great performance he had through all games. Dubs was also there next week with Strech, but he couldn't get into the first place, so he ended up in second. Such an amazing show overall. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it, so make sure to watch the entire video, it really helps me a lot. And also drop a like, and if you are new here, click that subscribe button. Enjoy the video.
Anyone that faces off against him usually does not survive. And the first opponent Ronnie will face, basically, is going to be Strech.
Spike doing what he's been doing all game, really getting super involved, and finally it works out for him with 2 eliminations. Man, Dubs makes me eat my words immediately. There's a road for him. There's a path. He's already halfway up that mountain. I don't see where Strech is. I do see Trashy at the top, who has fallen out of the top 10. Actually fallen out of the top 21. That's where he's at right now.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, no pun intended, to be able to go all the way on the right side of the map and kind of clinch your way into the top of this mountain. I don't think there was enough speed for Strech to actually reach that. Plus, combined players like Nexty in the way, taking shots, working for Surge. He must be somewhere closer to the south side of the map, but that's where things are so congested. Take a mental note of how far away each player is right now from each other, between Nexty, Dubs, Coral, Skittles, all these bases. Once we flip over to the south side, you'll see people just barely reaching into the zone, instantly boxing up, not wanting to waste any materials.
4th zone revealed, and we're ever closer to endgame. We're ever closer to moving zones, the zones that will determine everything. One last huge shout, by the way, to the EU players competing today, the ones who double qualified for grand finals. Savage, Benji, everybody who's had an impact and affected our enjoyment of these greatly. Just seeing that international competition, even though not necessarily the most balanced across the water, still fun to see. Duels between Mr. Savage and Booga and things like that are rare. So thank you for putting on a show.
Here's Strech. He's in zone. He actually has the opportunity to maybe even block out Dubs. But below these 2 guys, there's still a few smaller stories developing. I believe Cease is still alive in this game. We were on Nico's POV for a hot minute too. Both these players are side by side tied for 223 points each. Bala mentioned in the pre-show, your placement points will not matter while you guys are both existing in this final game. They will have to get elimination points. They will have to be unique to basically further themselves on that leaderboard.
Calm for Strech. A flow state for him. That's what it's been all day. Placement after placement after placement, not ever losing concentration on the goal for him, the major tournament win. It's in his grasp. It is firmly in his grasp. He just has to not let it slip. Go rising up the hill. He will get in the zone with that. Very important. Where is Cease in this game too? Kaz and Crim's former duo partners directly next to each other, and they're also fighting for a top spot in this as well.
We could talk about the what if, the slight elephant in the room of Strech going down. What does Dubs have to do to catch up? It's a 28-point difference between these 2 players. Neither of them have an elimination just yet. So there will be a little bit of work to do. I don't think placements will get there. It'll have to be Dubs performing way later on in those final zones.
28-point difference, by the way, is basically half of the placement points available is what Dubs has to do above Strech. The rotate is on for him very quickly, and there's already a couple of people firing upon him, but thankfully it stops. He gets all the way through with nothing left.
How did he get this for free? He went beside and in front of everyone's sightlines and finds one of the highest points he can be at. Strech is now the person playing catch up. He had position before.
Meanwhile, you're right, Strech does not have the crash pad. He's gonna go in on Kaz. A very risky play, and it pays off. Another 5 points has made the gap. He extends the lead to 33 as both players still alive. The placement points that they've earned have canceled out. By the way, can we get a check on whether Divine is still up? Because if he is, he has just overtaken Frist for 3rd place, and we'll hang on to that almost certainly. He is.
Bucky has a chance. He has a chance too. Divine is up, 3rd place. 100% confirmed for now. But many other players still survive who are fighting for a spot for that top 10. Passing by Divine's box. Strech now has a leg up. Walkman above him. Booga beside him every single event. Whether it's not the leaderboards, they find each other. Gabe taken out by Aspect. But they started this thing off and they'll end it the same way.
What a moment here. Strech right in the semifinals, stayed right next to Booga. And here they are again. They cannot get away from each other. Spiritually linked is what Strech said on Twitter. And I think that might be the case. Obviously, so much influence upon each other, playing through all the team modes up to this point. And who knows, even in Trio FNCS in Season 4, we might get them back. That would be wonderful to see. Of course, both sides are doing well in their trios. That's irrelevant right now. Solo gameplay is underway, and Strech, all the way on foot this entire time, has made a perfect rotation. Still max HP.
Full max 2 almost. That was absolutely free. Everyone's still left behind in the dust. Booga, Divine in the same boxes. Now the real game starts. 6th zone is moving. Strech, 1 elimination, trying to further the lead. Dubs is alive somewhere. He doesn't have any mobility, so it'll have to be his smarts and any recycling he can do around the right side of this zone. Strech is moving.
That he is. What a rotate. Still nobody firing upon him. No damage taken for so long now. Where is Dubs? There he is. He's in this too, but only 100 HP. Still has crash pads and launch pads to work with though, so even though he doesn't have the HP, at least he has other resources to bring him forward, which Strech does not have. Playing the low ground, finally a tack shot has been fired upon him, but it only scratches him for just a bit. He's still up with 37 people alive. So much work still left to be done.
Right now, the position for both these players, Strech is so close to the zone line. Dubs slightly fall farther behind. He's not only reaching on the leaderboards upwards, but also in the actual game, trying to play catch up. Spike is the one for the first time to actually control height and dictate who gets to move where, but Dubs is very, very close. A launch or a crash pad used to actually move him down. Dubs is going to make his move to rotate. Straw Hat Charlie right behind him. Nico and Steve's story still continues too. Dubs and Strech are on the right side of your screen. None of them really have progressed much in eliminations. Dubs is making his first move now onto Neff. Can he find one? Strech is finally fully healed up. This is his POV of stopping Aspect. Can he find the shot over? He's blocked by Zone. A huge crash pad makes chaos, and Who Fishy goes down. Dubs is looking at Strech though. He can stop things right here.
That he could. A couple shots will go in, but Strech taking a lot of zone damage. Dubs too. By the way, if Strech stays up all the way with Dubs, it'll have to be a 7 elimination game for Dubs to overtake with 35 points. That would be now very low HP. Stinks in play too. It could take both of them down. Oh my goodness. 5 HP now for Dubs. He has to layer down. Strech still in though. Did not take damage from that, but he's above Dubs. They will fall on top of each other as they run out of mats. Down this mountain right here. A couple beams on the Master. The Siphon could be so huge and so important on the Owl. No mats remaining down there. A player in this box. It's Snazy. 2 eliminations. Snazy. Booga and Dubs down. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Strech on high ground. And Strech has won DreamHack Open, the first one of this season. We will have many, many more, but Strech now a victory lap.
It's all about style for him now. How is he going to choose to end out this game? Who can he stop from climbing even higher? Vevi is still alive, looking to have some type of end game here, but Strech is 100% the king all the way up top. Aperta, he's looking to survive too. Things slow down a bit. 5 people end game as the 9th zone starts to close in. It's 1 minute until this competition is absolutely over. Strech has control of all aspects of this game. Reverse ramps down to be able to connect faster. Each player doing as much as they can to move past old builds. Aperta goes up, he has a shockwave launcher, Stretch falls down, cannot take any fall damage or even go near the zone. Aperta is getting chaotic, lots of self-damage done by the zone. Stretch is now back at his home habitat, that blue line. Last mat possibly. A wooden cone down, he has to try to evade and move around places. 1v1 carry goes down. Stretch is on a tear. Aperta can't stop him. The shockwave can't stop him. Dubs is gone. This is Stretch's show. He's still landing shots, looking healthy, looking spry. 3 eliminations, turn it over to 5 years Stretch. Vevi below him, he gets pushed all the way back. Isn't enough to stop this man, this monster, almost there still. Vevi pushed back, but Stretch is your ultimate winner. Aperta wrapping up that final game. This was NA East. Welcome to the first showing of the DreamHack Open.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Strech is your champion. We have a lot to digest, and we'll do so after one final break.
Gabe afterward working very well. Stinks once again used to get his pick of the game, but he got taken out shortly afterwards. Benji was still active all the way around on every side of the map, but this was just mid and early game. Once those zones started to close and get shorter and shorter, closer and closer, that's when the real man shines. Stretch all the way at the end, surviving so long, even taking out Carry in the top 5, making it to the top 3. Just the best performance I've ever seen from a player in a tournament.
Ridiculous stuff all the way through, and in the final moments too. All these guys in the end, the top 6 with Stretch. He was playing against pretty much everybody who was outside of top 50, but they still were there. They still rose a lot, and we got to give credits to pretty much every single player who played in this tournament, even the hundreds of thousands, because it just made an awesome experience all the way through.
Yeah, and credit to Aperta there taking that last victory royale. But as you guys said, it does seem like Stretch is going to be our winner for the North American Eastern region. Let's take a quick look at the top 20 and see how they placed. And there he is, everyone. Stretch sitting on top there with 351 points, almost 60 points above the next closest person, which is Dubs, of course, taking second place there. Divine in third, Frist in fourth, and then we have Buck in fifth.
Yeah, I mean, Stretch, 251 placement points in total. It was 446 points that this man dropped, so breaking that next 100 barrier, so close to 452. I'm surprised that he didn't have as many elimination points as a lot of the other people on the top 5. A little bit lower on that aspect, but so high in placement. He was active every game consistently.
And I also want to point out Snazy, one of the players who qualified for both EU Grand Finals and NA East, showing up today and getting 6th place above a lot of other competitors who had their home turf. That is impressive to say the least. And another name too, Zexra was still here, 7th place for him. That is